Hi, friends of Lila's. I'm Patty. I've always lived at Meadowview. I was born here. I met Miss Dawn, let me think, quite a while back. Yeah, right after she came here to Meadowview. About a week after, I think. Anyway, I was really hungry one day. I was out looking for something to eat in the bins, just kind of cruising the neighborhood, checking around for bits and pieces here and there that people would just, drop or throw out, or maybe I might just casually flip the lid of a bin. It doesn't hurt anything, right? Well, anyway, during my dumpster diving, I happened to notice this lady and her family, and I thought maybe I could just be really nice and see if maybe she would have some extras that she could donate. So, yeah, Miss Dawn, she's really nice. She's a kind person, and I liked her right away. She was friendly, and her girl was real nice too, and even Mr. Russ. And we sat around and visited for a bit, and they brought me out some food. And I kind of giggled because I had just hit up her neighbor about 2 hours before, but I gobbled that food down anyway, because my tummy wouldn't always be full, right? You gotta take it when you can get it. So that's what I did. And I thought to myself, I'm gonna come and visit her again. And, maybe we'll become friends. Because I've had other friends, human friends. Sometimes they invite me to come in their house, and that's nice. I don't stick around. That's not me. But one time somebody put a collar on me. Can you believe the nerve? And it was pink. I'm not a pink girly. Anyway, had this pink collar on for, forever. I couldn't even get it off. I couldn't find a human to get it off of me. Anyway, Miss Dawn, she was really interested in that pink collar. It was all frayed up from me trying to scratch it off, and just over time, it was wearing out, and I still couldn't get the darn thing off my neck. But she was really interested in it, and she took it off. She took it off, and she took it inside, and it looked like she took a picture, and then she took a picture of me, and I thought to myself, what in the heck is she doing? Well, come to find out, did you all know that when Miss Dawn finds a kitty out here and it's friendly, there's a thing? Well, I guess you must know because you're looking at me on it, the internet. Yeah, yeah. So she goes there somehow on this box thing and tells other people about what she's seen, and what she does is she tries to find the people that lost kitties. Yeah, I think that's really amazing. You know, helping kitties get back to their humans when they're lost and stuff. She's helped a lot of them. Anyway, she did that for me too. And I thought that was really super nice. I knew she wasn't going to find anybody because you see, those people that put that pink collar on me, they went away a long time ago. Like I said, that thing was all frayed and beat up. I'd been wearing it for, I don't even know, 10 forevers, I think. Anyway, nobody did show up, I humor her. She thinks she's doing something. Anyway, she tried. But like I said, nobody showed up. And, she just kept looking and kept putting things on that internet box and asking around. And she said, you know what, Patty? You have to have some people somewhere because you're so nice. Well, thing is, I'm nice with people, but I don't really like other cats. You see, that's why my name is Patty. It's really Krabby Patty. Yeah. Miss Dawn's girl gave me that name. The other people in the park, though, call me Penny. That was my name. Anyway, I like Patty better. I think it fits. But, yeah. So she looked and looked. There wasn't any people. They went away, like I said. She didn't know that, though. She did her best. Over time, I think she just finally accepted the fact that nobody was coming for me. And, she kind of kept an eye on me. When I was sickly, she'd give me some icky old medicine, and she'd try to disguise that nasty stuff in some food. Oh, but I got on to her about that. So then she just started shoving it down my neck hole. It was awful. She'd pry open my mouth and stick it in there, and ew, it was terrible. But I ate it anyway. The lengths I'd go to for that lady. Anyway, magically, within a couple days, I'd start feeling better, So I got to give her props for that because it did help. But yeah, she would give me some medicine when I was sick. She always made sure I had some food and some water. And she let us come up on the porch, me and my buddies, and hang out, Sometimes, though, some of these cats out here really get on my nerves. And then I'd get to yelling and hollering. And Miss Dawn would come out and tell me to be quiet. And I'd have to sit down and shut up and give her some peace. That's like I said, that's the thing. I don't get along with everybody. I mean, who can expect that? Anyway, I did my best for her. Well, you know how it is, being a girl cat. Sometimes you just get in that mood. And when you're in that mood, you make a whole lot of racket. I don't want to do that. I never wanted to do that. I never wanted to be, hanging out with the guy cats and making a bunch of racket. And next thing you know, my belly's all full of kittens that I have to birth and care for. And, kittens. They are so nerve-wracking. Anyway, happened over and over again. I would just roll my eyes every time, and I would just be like, okay, just get it over with. I know what's going to happen. Just do the thing and get it done. So that did happen a lot of times. I had lots of kittens, and every once in a while, I would do my best. Don't get me wrong. I don't have hate for the kittens or anything. I tried to be a good mama. I'm not cruel. So I'd wash them, and take care of them, feed them my milk, all that good stuff, protect them, keep them warm and dry, try to raise them up. Problem was, though, they'd get sick. Yeah, they'd get sick. And see, they couldn't go to Miss Dawn and ask for medicine. And I don't even think she had special medicine just for kittens. So, lots of times they just wouldn't make it. And I'd be so frustrated because I had gone through all that. And then they just didn't even grow. That's frustrating. But I would do my best each and every time. And once in a while, one would catch and it would grow. And I'd be so proud of that kitten. And I would take it to Miss Dawn and show her. And she'd be so excited about it. And then she'd take that doggone kitten. It would up and disappear on me. And she would sit down and tell me, Patty, that kitten, it went to the adoption center. And it got a home. And I'd think, oh no. Well, here we go again. Because each time she would take them kittens away, pretty soon, guess what would happen? I'd get to feeling that way again. And I know Miss Dawn's pocketbook was not limitless, and I know because she told me it's expensive to get that operation where you stop feeling that way. There's an operation. Did you know that there is an operation? Yeah, I'm not really sure what it is. Sounds to me like there's some kind of special pocket that I don't know about. I take baths just like anybody else. I never discovered no special pocket, no zipper, no buttons, snaps, Velcro. I don't know. But she said the inside of you is some sort of parts. And they take those parts out and you're magically all better. Then you're free, she says. Free. I don't know. I don't think she knows what free means. Anyway, I don't know. I never discovered that pocket. I wash and wash. I didn't see a daggone thing. But she just didn't have a choice, She was doing her best. She was. And, I know that sometimes people helped her. Yeah, they helped her by taking the kittens, right? But like I said, every time I'd get to feeling that way. And that was disappointing because then I'd have to start all over again. And I don't think she understood how frustrating that was for me. I know sometimes she felt bad about it, but she was just doing her best as a human. So, I didn't hold it against her. We were still good friends, and I really cared about her. Well, years went by. Years, I'm telling you. I was out here in the colony for a long, long time. Yep, just being me, being free. I could sniff the grass, chew on it if I wanted to, pop in and out of bins, looking for goodies. You never know what you're going to come across out here dumpster diving. There could be something really fabulous out here. Anyway, I spent a long time out here. Yep. And sometimes, like I said, I'd go in people's houses. Sometimes I went in Miss Dawn's house. Every once in a while. Not too often. Well, just like you, time passes and it changes you. It changes you in ways that you don't understand why it's happening. You slow down. You got to lay in the sun more. Yeah, that part really stinks. Then I get to aching. I'm feeling less strong. I can't run as fast. I can't get up the trees as quick. Something just slowed me down. Well, I noticed it, and it was bothering me. And the next thing you know, I got to feeling that way. Oh, man. I got to feeling that way, and I know that I'm slowing down. I'm feeling the whatever it is, right? So I went to Miss Dawn's, and I sat, and I waited for her. And when she opened the door, I decided, heck, I'm going to go. I'm going to lay in there. I'm going to lay in there for a while and see if I feel better. So that's what I did, and she didn't really seem to mind. And after a couple of days, she said, Patty, you're looking kind of round. I think something's going on in your belly again. Well, with that, I knew what was coming. As soon as them kittens came out and got big enough, she'd be taking them away and I'd have to do this all again. I don't want to do it all again. So I left. I did. Left her high and dry. I ghosted her. Kind of feel bad about that, because I really do love her. Anyway, I took off. I was scared. I didn't want to go through this again, and I can't find that daggone pocket thing. Because heck, if I could take out my own parts, I would. Well, anyway, the search for the pockets never turned up anything, and here I was, another belly full of kittens again. So I went and hid. And I thought to myself, you know, this time is going to be different. I am just going to have these kittens, and this is not going to happen ever again. Well, guess what? I got hungry. Yes, I got hungry. And I thought to myself, I'll just go back to Miss Dawn's one more time, just for a snack, and then I'll just leave real quick. It'll be okay. So when I showed up, just like always, she was like, "Hey, Patty, do you need a snack?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am, I sure do. Please give me your best snack." Well, she served it up with a smile like always. Except this time, she was quick. And she was smart. And she knew what my plan was, darn it. And she corralled me into that house. And do you know she had the nerve to take me into the back of the house and shut the door all the way in the back? How am I gonna escape now? Well, shoot. Well, it didn't matter anyway, because it turned out as soon as I was done eating that snack, my belly started moving around and it started hurting, and I thought, oh no, I'm stuck inside Miss Dawn's house and the kittens are coming. Well, there was hardly any time at all. And the kittens started to come out. Oh boy, now I've done it. Now I've got kittens and I gotta take care of them, and I'm in Miss Dawn's house. There's no escaping this time. The kittens are here. Yep, 3 little kittens. So I had 2 boys and 1 girl. I wasn't sure how it was going to be having kittens in a house. I mean, it's different, I can't just get away from them when I'm tired of hearing them mewing. You know what I mean. Well, I found a spot under Miss Dawn's bed, and I'd go under there. It was the best thing I could do. I could still hear them mewing, though, even though I fed them and washed them. Ugh, kittens. Well, anyway, I did my best, and I raised them up, and they were happy. They were so cute. I think back, though, to those days when I had my pink collar on and the freedom I had, and I missed it. I missed it a lot. Yeah. Because like I said, all I could do was get up under the bed and get away from the mewing. And that just didn't do it for me. Sometimes I'd look out the window and I'd kick at the birds. Just didn't feel right. Just wasn't enough. I couldn't run. I couldn't feel the wind. Couldn't smell the green grass. Just wasn't right. So I waited. I fed those doggone kittens. And they were healthy. And they grew. And they were cute. And I just knew they'd be getting their own lifetime somewhere else. Just like always. And sure enough, they did. All but one. The orange one. You can't see him in this picture. He was probably off being a naughty boy right then and there. That's Tully for you. Anyway, these are my other 2 kids. That little white and black one, that's Angie. And that little orange and white one, that's Fergus. He has a new name now. I think it's like Marty McFly or something like that. Yeah. He's got it made in the shade. Anyway, they got their own stories to tell, and I'm going to let them tell you that. But see, the thing was, after they were done needing my milk and they went to the adoption center and got their own lives, I went back to thinking about that pink collar, wondering where on earth it was, and wondering where on earth my life was. Because you see, after the kittens went to the adoption center, I went there too. But only I didn't get to stay. I didn't get to wait for a new home. No, I took a nap there. I guess you have to take a nap in order to find that magic pocket. And then you have like a little sore, but it gets better, just like any sore. Well, anyway, that's what they did. And they took out the parts when I was sleeping. And I woke up at Miss Dawn's. And after I got feeling better, I don't know. Let's see, I think it was about maybe 6 or 7 Sunday. I don't know. Maybe 6 or 7 days. Yeah, I think that's right. Trying to think back. Well, let's just say it was a handful of days. My memory is not very good anymore. 6 or 7 days, something like that. And that urge to get outside just overwhelmed me. And I cried and I cried and cried. And finally, Miss Dawn relented and said, "Patty, you're well enough. I can let you outside today." And she opened that door and I bolted. I bolted like lightning, my friends. And that was it. I was outside. And I was so excited. I felt like myself again. I didn't need that pink collar. I was free. I was outside. So I went on an adventure. And it was epic. I went on the longest walk I have ever been on. Because now I wasn't getting to feeling that way at all. I felt pretty darn good for the first time in an age. And I was gone a long time. I was gone for 2, maybe 3 seasons. But I went back. And I showed up at Miss Dawn's door. 'Cause, I wanted her to know that I was okay. That everything was fine. And she didn't need to worry. 'Cause she worries a lot. I don't know any human that worries more. So I stopped by, and she gave me a snack just like always. And she said, "Do you want to come in, Patty?" And I looked at her, and I was like, nope, not gonna do that again. I just ate my snack and minded my business, and every time she tried to coax me in, I was like, mm-mm. And she took the hint. She knew. So I finished my snack, and I hung out on the porch with her for a bit. And then it was time for me to go on, so I left. And I looked back at her, and I know what she was thinking. She was thinking she should come over and snag me and take me in the house against my will. Nope. So I kind of loped away just to let her know it's okay. I don't need to come in. I'm okay out here. This is where I live. This is where I always lived. Some of us just ain't made to live in the house. So I went on another epic adventure because I'm feeling great now. Except one day I was in the woods. I was far away from Meadow View. So far away. And I was in the woods. And, I wasn't feeling too good. Like I said before, time has a way of catching up with us, right? And it was catching up to me. I have been around for probably 8, 10. Okay, I'm lying. I've been around at least for 10 winters. Maybe even more. Okay, maybe 12. And at this point, I'm tired. And I lay down and I'm thinking, I'm sore and I don't feel too good. I'm going to lay down by this log and take a little bit of a rest. And I closed my eyes and I kept feeling something around my face, bugging me like some sort of insect, and I was gonna swat it, but I opened my eyes and it was a little butterfly. It was a fancy little thing, and every time I tried to swipe it, it would just dance away. My swipes meant nothing to that little butterfly. So I closed my eyes. I thought, well, maybe a sneak attack or something. Only this little butterfly was familiar. I knew this little butterfly's voice. It started to whisper in my ear. Is that crazy? Was I crazy? And it said, Patty, come on, Patty. Come with me. Let's go play. And I thought. And finally I decided, if I'm ever going to play with a fancy butterfly, this would probably be the time. So I got up and I left. And I never looked back, because playing with this butterfly is the best thing ever. The best thing. And I am really and truly free now. There's no winter. I'm never hungry. Nothing hurts me. Everybody here is happy. And there's kitties here that are my best friends. Children that I haven't seen in years. It's wonderful here. And I play with that little butterfly all the time. My life was great. I don't want you to think that just because I lived outside that I didn't have a good life. It was great. And Miss Dawn and Mr. Russ took great care of me. They really did. They always do their utmost to take care of the kitties, right? Please help and support them. The job that they do is huge. Do you know that some of my kids still live in Meadowview? Yep, I go back and check on them. Like I said, I'm not heartless. Anyway, I go back and check on them. Miss Spaz, I think you probably all have met Miss Spaz. Yeah. She's a grandkid of mine. And, y'all know Tully, right? Yeah, Tully lives in Miss Dawn's house. He's my son. He's a little cray-cray. Anywho, I go back and check on him. And every so often, I check on Miss Dawn and Mr. Russ. Just make sure they're okay. And, make sure that Mr. Russ is taking stuff out to the bin for the other kitties so that they can dumpster. I mean, never mind. We're not talking about dumpster diving. But anyway, topic at hand. Please help and support them. The cats of Meadowview. And I appreciate you all. Have a great night.